have a case that really is going to have the way forward to ensure that the doctors' union officials are out of prison as soon as possible. And that will only happen if all the lawyers really come together to forge a successful way forward in this particular case. So I want us to link up with my colleague Rita Tinina, who's following up on this particular story. Rita, thank you so much for joining us. So talk to us about this directive that has been given by the bench.
Well, good morning, Betty. We are live from the Supreme Court building in the city center. This is the building that houses the Court of Appeal. And as you mentioned, in the last 20 minutes or so, the court session got underway to hear an appeal against the jailing of the 7 doctors' union officials. This time, this appeal now being led by Senior Counsel James Orengo, who has joined at this time. This led by...
All right, we seem to be having a problem there with Rita Tinina. We'll try and have her back in a few moments. She was just updating us on really what has been happening in the last 20 minutes or so at the Court of Appeal. Remember that that case is coming up today. All efforts are being made really to ensure that the union officials are out of prison so that the negotiations can continue officially, and therefore we'll be getting some direction on if this is going to happen, how soon it's going to be happening when that court case returns in session. Remember also that yesterday the CS Cleopa Mailu was taken to task by the Senate Health Committee, who asked him to ensure that the doctors' union officials are out of prison as soon as possible. And he was supposed to consult with the Attorney General to see on how best that can happen. But then parallel proceedings continue at the Court of Appeal today. So let's just cross over back to my colleague Rita Tinina. I understand now she's okay and back. Rita, just give us the overview that you were talking about.
Well, as I was telling you, Betty, that session that got underway a few minutes ago has now been adjourned. The parties in the case being given time to consult and agree on how they will make their submissions. As I was mentioning, the 7 doctors who have a legal team now is being headed by Senior Counsel James Orengo. And the Law Society of Kenya came on board seeking to be enlisted as an interested party. There was also the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, which had over a week ago joined in to help with the mediation also as an interested party. Outside the court, doctors are gathered here, several dozens of them. Earlier on, we saw Raila Odinga, the court leader, come into the court. He was seated listening in on the proceedings, which lasted just a few minutes. We expect that the lawyers will be back in court when they are ready. A 3-judge bench led by Wanjiru Karanja is hearing this appeal, and the judges then gave the parties those few minutes. They said when they are ready, they can inform the court, and the session then can begin. The noise you're hearing in the background, perhaps Betty faintly, is the doctors who are here singing, chanting. Today, actually, they have a band carrying placards. They are chanting and saying, "Release the CBA 7. So we are waiting to see when this court session will get underway again and what will happen. But as of yesterday, there was a lot of mounting pressure on the government, on the CS, Health CS Cleopa Mailu, as well as his principal secretary, Dr. Nicholas Muraguri. There was also pressure, especially coming from the Kenya Medical Association, to have the 7 union officials released. The Kenya Medical Association saying that all its professionals associated with the association should boycott work for the next 48 hours in solidarity with the doctors who are in jail. The KMA also saying it has revoked the license, the membership of Dr. Muraguri and Cleopa Mailu from the association for 1 year. So this morning, Dr. Muraguri as well as Dr. Cleopa Mailu were to appear before the Senate. Mailu was before the Senate Committee on Health yesterday. He was put on the spot on several things. First, on the talks, the government side, the ministry, which was also in the negotiating team, and he blamed the permanent principal secretary, Dr. Nicholas Muraguri, saying he was not taking orders from him. He cited a case when he appointed Muraguri to head the mediation team on behalf of the ministry. But he says after 2 days, Muraguri wrote him a memo declining to take up that position and instead appointing someone else to sit in his place. Yesterday, the Kenya Medical Association officials saying, in fact, the person who was appointed, Mailu Muraguri, which was one Dr. Francis Musimi, also did not play his role, appointing another, what they termed as a junior officer, who by Saturday, last Saturday, just a day before the officials were to go back to court, also said he didn't have the authority to make any decisions on behalf of the ministry. And so the association was accusing the government of lacking full commitment in the talks, saying if they were indeed very committed, they would have ensured the principal secretary, the chief accounting officer for the ministry, was involved in those talks. Currently, those senior officials, those doctors' union officials remain in jail. Yesterday, the government separating all of them. Initially, when they were jailed, 5 of them were taken to the committee medium security prison. The 2 female union officials were taken to the Langata women's prison. Yesterday, the government separated them, but the Secretary General, Ouma Oluga, remained at committee medium security prison. The chairman of the union, Samuel Oroko, was taken to the Kajiado prison, while the Deputy Secretary General, Chibanzi Mwachoda, was taken to the Shimo Latewa prison at the coast. So, Betty, this morning we are waiting to see what happens. A lot of pressure mounting on the government to ensure that these 7 doctors' union officials are out. As long as they remain in jail, negotiations cannot continue. This is a strike that is now in its 3rd month. The negotiations which have been going on for more than 70 days involving the government, the Ministry of Health, the Council of Governors, which took the doctors to court. There was the SRC, there is the Public Service Commission. If those talks are to continue, the doctors have to be out of jail. The 7 officials are the ones mandated by the union to negotiate on behalf of the doctors. As long as they are in jail, no negotiations